at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It was ridiculous.
In early 2025, President Donald Trump's administration launched a massive nationwide deportation campaign, one of the most aggressive efforts in U.S. history to enforce immigration laws. Starting in January 2025, these raids intensified by July, drawing widespread attention from the public, media, and advocacy groups. If you're interested in this topic, comment number 1. After taking office in January 2025, President Trump pledged to deport over 10 million undocumented immigrants. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, ramped up raids with support from local law enforcement through the 287G program, which added 444 new agreements with police departments and sheriff's offices since January. These agreements allowed local agencies to assist in immigration enforcement. ICE data shows that in the first 100 days of Trump's term, the agency conducted over 1,000 workplace arrests and proposed over $1 million in fines for businesses hiring undocumented workers. On June 4, 2025, ICE set a record by arresting 2,200 people in a single day. The raids targeted not only those with criminal records but also undocumented immigrants without prior convictions. By July 2025, ICE and news reports highlighted the scale of the deportation efforts. Key details include arrest numbers. NBC News reported ICE deported 11,000 people in February, 12,300 in the first 4 weeks of March, and about 17,200 in April 2025. While full July figures are not yet available, daily arrests rose from an average of 310 in fiscal year 2024 to about 433 in early 2025. If this trend continues, tens of thousands may have been detained in July. Deportation numbers. ICE data indicates about half of those deported in February had no criminal convictions. Over half of those detained by ICE at the time also faced no criminal charges, showing the campaign targeted undocumented immigrants broadly, not just lawbreakers. Increased enforcement personnel. On May 10, 2025, Trump ordered the Department of Homeland Security to add 20,000 immigration enforcement officers, including local police, retired federal agents, and others. Funding for this expansion remains unclear, sparking debate over feasibility. Voluntary Deportation Program. The DHS launched Project Homecoming via the CBP Home app, encouraging immigrants to leave voluntarily with $1,000 and travel cost assistance. DHS claims this cut deportation costs by about 70%, with an average cost of $17 to $121 per case. Third country deportations. On July 6, 2025, 8 immigrants were deported to South Sudan, a country not their homeland, after the Supreme Court allowed Trump's administration to send immigrants to third countries without prior notice. This decision raised concerns about fair trial rights. The deportation raids triggered strong public reactions, with clear political divides. A June 2025 Pew Research Center survey found 43% of Americans believe the deportations make the U.S. safer, 33% say they make it less safe, and 24% see no significant impact. However, 80% support deporting undocumented immigrants with serious criminal convictions. Protests in Los Angeles. In early June 2025, raids in Los Angeles sparked large protests, especially after non-criminals were detained. A notable case involved a 23-year-old from Mexico's indigenous Zapotec community, deported after mistakenly signing a form he thought was a COVID-19 test. Protests escalated, leading Trump to deploy 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to the area, raising concerns about using military forces for civilian matters. Responses from major cities. Raids also hit cities like Chicago, New York, Boston, Denver, and Miami. In Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker vowed to protect immigrant communities, stating local police would not assist ICE. In Paterson, New Jersey, Mayor Andrei Sayegh raised concerns about raids lacking clear arrest warrants. Public opinion. A June 2025 CBS News poll showed net positive support for the deportation program, especially among those who believe it prioritizes dangerous criminals. However, critics opposed its broad scope and lack of fair trial processes. Here are some notable X comments reflecting diverse views on the raids. Patriot Voice USA. Finally, the law is being enforced. These raids are needed to protect national security and keep America safe. Support ICE. This comment shows strong support for the deportations, emphasizing security. Justice for all 22. Mass deportations are wrong. Many arrested are just undocumented, not criminals. This divides communities and spreads fear. This view highlights concerns about the raid's impact on immigrant communities. Real news now. ICE is doing their job, but why target hardworking laborers? Focus on real criminals instead of splitting families. This user supports enforcement but urges a focus on serious offenders. Freedom Fighter LA. Los Angeles is fighting back. We won't let ICE tear our families apart. We need immigration reform, not mass deportations. This reflects the protest spirit in Los Angeles, calling for reform over deportations. These comments show a polarized public, with some backing strict enforcement and others worried about humanitarian and social impacts. The raids faced numerous legal challenges. By April 2025, over 50 lawsuits from groups like the ACLU and Democratic state attorneys challenged Trump's immigration policies. Key issues include fair trial rights. In April 2025, Massachusetts Judge Brian Murphy ordered the government to provide written notice and a chance for immigrants to contest third-country deportations. The Supreme Court paused this order in June, allowing the South Sudan deportations without prior notice. Lawyers argue this violates international principles against deporting people to places where they risk torture or abuse. Community impact. The raids spread fear in immigrant communities, especially in Latino-heavy areas. Pew Research Center reported 43% of immigrants feared deportation for themselves or family by July 2025, up from 33% in March. This was especially true for Latinos, with 47% expressing concern. Economic impact. In June 2025, Trump paused raids on agriculture, hospitality, and restaurant industries after pushback about labor shortages. This highlights the challenge of balancing enforcement with economic needs. The nationwide deportation raids in July 2025 mark a tense period in U.S. immigration policy. With rising arrests and deportations, local agency support, and programs like Project Homecoming, the Trump administration is pushing its large-scale deportation pledge. Yet the raids have sparked protests, lawsuits, and divided public opinion. While some see them as necessary for law enforcement and security, others argue they cause fear and harm communities, especially when targeting non-criminals. X comments reflect this divide, with strong support and opposition. As immigration policies unfold, the U.S. faces big questions about balancing law enforcement, human rights, and economic needs. The secret activities along the U.S. border in July 2025, from uncovering smuggling tunnels to operations like Operation Tidal Wave, marked a new phase in national security efforts. Based on CBP, DHS, and X posts, this article provides a neutral overview with specific data and objective analysis. While these measures have reduced smuggling and apprehended criminals, challenges around transparency, international relations, and humanitarian impacts persist. The U.S. government must continue collaborating with domestic and international partners while balancing security with democratic values to ensure an effective and fair border system. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
Go back after a year. Yeah, they changed.
Can I get one of you guys on the other side while we put them in full restraints?
And this operation has a focus. As far as the house goes, it looks like we had
Pon la rodilla ahí. Pon la rodilla ahí. Una solamente. No, no. That whole story. That whole story.
The DHS sticker on?
this subject here that we're targeting as a prop.
I'm gonna swing back around.
Yeah, if you go by, like, turn right where the Exxon is, and as you turn, look on your left-hand side. Try to see if we can make out who it is.
It's in there? No.
Tango.
No, le iba a decir a mi amigo que venga, que lleve mi troca.
No, minuto, okay.
Give me this is a big boy. Ahí están las llaves. Ok, gracias.
Avenue or 19th Street? 8th and 19th. Got the damage?
I think Aaron's a TAC medic if we have anything go on, anybody gets injured, and the nearest hospital I think's up on 380 Baylor, Scott White. She's going to be a suspected 18th Street gang member.
¿Y esto es lo que está?